Hey, Justin.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
All right. We have quorum. Thank you, Director Weiner, for joining. Justin, do we have everyone from staff that we need?
Yeah, Michael Savannah is just connecting right now. So once he's on, we are ready.
Perfect.
I'm here. Good morning, afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just having some technical difficulties, but I am here.
Well, thanks for joining. Then we'll call this meeting to order then. Justin, Brenda, feels like we haven't done this in a while. We take a month off and
It's been a month. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll turn it over to Brenda, I think, to call the roll.
Okay. We'll start with Director Weiner.
I am present.
Thank you. And Vice President Cepeda.
Here.
Thank you. Next item, public comment. Items not in the agenda. I did not receive any public comment, any written public comment, and I do not see any public attendees on our list.
Then we can get started with the agenda then.
Thank you. Next item is minutes. Accept the minutes of the August 9th, 2021 Finance and Administration Committee meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We don't need roll call for this. Next item is job classification changes. Review of proposed changes to the collection system job classifications.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair Cepeda and Director Weiner, Justin Lovell, Director of Administrative Services. I just want to introduce this item today. This is we're asking the board to review some proposed changes that we have to the collection system member and collection system crew leader classifications. And so this is in the infrastructure and planning departments, as we have Michael Savannah, Director of Infrastructure and Planning, who's on the call, who could ask any specific questions. But I will turn this over to Tanya Williams, our Human Resources Analyst, to give us a brief presentation to talk through what our proposed changes are. So Tanya, I'll pass it off to you. Tanya, do you want me to share the screen for the presentation? I think you're on mute, Tanya.
Yes, please, Justin.
Sure. Okay. Let me share my screen and we'll go ahead and.
Okay. Good afternoon. Okay, thanks. Good afternoon, Chairperson Cepeda and Director Weiner and everyone else that's on the call today. We're here because we're proposing some changes to the collection systems classification modifications. Justin, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so our background is currently there are 4 classifications within the CSO crew. We have a crew member 1 and 2, then we have a crew leader 1 and 2. And historically, the current classifications, they're very similar. The only difference between the crew member 1 and 2 and the crew leader 1 and 2 is at the 2 level, there's a requirement for a Class A tank endorsement driver's license. For the most part, everything else is identical. So we are, and then there's no room for advancement between the 2 levels. So The only way that a crew member 1 or a leader 1 can advance up to the level 2 is if someone retires or resigns. So we're trying to make changes so that we can create an internal passage for employees to promote up in the classifications to be flexibly staffed. You can go to the next slide, Justin. So here are the proposed classifications. As you can see on the top here in the green, we have the crew member 1 and the crew member 2. We would like to condense that classification down into one classification, which would be the collection system crew member classification. And then we would like to take the CSO crew leader 1 and crew leader 2 and retitle it to senior collection system crew member. And both of the classifications will be flexibly staffed. So for instance, when an employee, just say for instance, we have someone at the crew member classification and they meet all of the qualifications for the senior. They have their tank endorsement, they have the correct certification. Instead of waiting for someone to vacate the position, we want to create an internal passage for them to promote up once they meet those requirements. So this doesn't require for our FTEs to change. They would still remain at 11. It would just be that they will be able to move upward or downward. Okay, next slide, Justin. So again, there's no change to the FTE count or wage schedule. There's 11 FTEs currently between the two classifications. Again, we would like for them to be flexibly staffed in either classification with the internal process for promotion from member to crew senior. The wage will be tied to the existing wage schedule. The crew member will stay at the crew member 1 wage schedule, and the incumbents that are in that crew member classification, if they have the Class A tank endorsement, however, they don't have the correct certification to promote to the senior, we're going to give them the 5% differential on the wage schedule. Currently, the wage schedule is broken down for, just say, for instance, the crew member 1 to a 2, with the 2 requiring the tank endorsement. There's a that 5% differential is already allocated on the wage schedule at the 2 level. So if we're going to remove the salary at the 2 level and just have it at the 1, we're going to give those that are in that classification a 5% differential. So it won't be any impact to that employee. For the senior crew member, the wage is currently tied to the existing crew member 2 wages. So there will be no impact to any employees that are currently in the leader 2 position. They will stay at their same wage, no change into that. The initial impact will be an additional $61,000 in fiscal year 2022 for the 5 crew member 2s to advance to the senior crew member. Next slide, Justin, please. So our recommendation is to adopt the new job specifications, which are the collection system crew member and the senior collection system crew member. We want to reclassify the incumbents in the collection system crew member 1 and 2 to the collection system crew member. We want to reclassify the incumbents in the collection system crew leader 1 and 2 to senior collection system crew member. And then we're recommending to adopt the amended fiscal year 2022 wage schedule and the fiscal year 2022 position control list. Next slide, please. And so that's the end of my presentation. Do you have anyone have any questions?
And just before I jump in.
Or Michael, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ty. I do just want to just clarify, this is a presentation that we would give to the board. But so today we're asking the committee to review and recommend that we would move this item to the full board for approval. So I just wanted to clarify that before we jumped into questions, or if Michael had any comments.
No, I don't think I have any substantial comments, but I am here to answer any questions that anyone may have. Actually, I do have one comment I'd like to make. I think the presentation was done really well. Thank you, Tanya. One piece that I just want to clarify or make sure that we include is part of what we are doing is not only creating a pathway for people to promote, but also creating a system of equity in that where we have people who have a certain classification and certain experience that the district is benefiting from, we don't currently have a way to equitably place them in the organization. So what this will provide is when people go out and they develop themselves and they say, I'm going to get a certification above and beyond what my current classification requires, which is something that the district is going to benefit from. The district can now say, I'm going to reward you for going above and beyond and getting this certification, getting this training, bringing this experience back to the district so that we can work more efficiently and effectively. And I'm going to put you in this other classification. And that's another piece of what we're doing here.
Thank you all. Director Wiener, any questions, comments?
Yeah, I did. I support this change. So my questions have nothing to do with a lack of support. Has the union been consulted on this change?
Yes, the union has been consulted. And they know that we were moving forward with meeting with the finance committee and proposing to take this to the board. And they had no objections at the time in regards to.
Thank you very much. This is outside of this particular item. I was just reading all of the material submitted to support this change. And I'd like the staff to consider not making a distinction between manual, unskilled, and skilled. Being able to do manual labor for years at a time requires skill. I personally was taught how to dig ditches, carry heavy weight, and move large things, swing a hammer, walk a rafter, etc. People are not born with these abilities. There really is no distinction, and it perpetuates class injustice. So that's a political statement. Is there an official description of and training for the requirement embodies WCW's culture and values? Has staff ever been tested on their understanding of this or their experience with this? Because it's one of the requirements of this particular job, and I assume all jobs.
Yeah, I can just jump in there. Yeah, so, you know, this kind of requirement, you know, we're really looking at our core values, you know, within the district. It is something that we're evolving, you know, we're currently going through looking at our, you know, evaluation system and on how do we recognize and evaluate our employees, you know, towards, are they working, you know, with the values of the district. So it's something new that we're working on. So I can't say that we specifically right now, you know, have a kind of formalized, I'd say, like evaluation process to look at it. But it's, you know, as we're talking with staff and we're going through our cultural transformation right now, you know, these are part of the discussions that we're having with everybody at all levels of the organization about what values we want everybody to bring to the work that they do.
If I could add just a piece there, Justin, if you don't mind, and directors, if you don't mind, there's also been some training in the organization around the core values and the expectations. There are employee expectations that everyone in the organization has gone through and received. And I think Tanya has a copy of that training. There's also a separate set of trainings around leadership and management expectations, which are in addition to the employee expectations. And these speak directly to what you're asking, Director Weiner, the core values and how we measure whether or not people fit those core values.
So we formalized our changes toward a new culture.
I think in some ways they have been formalized and people are aware of what the expectation is, but as Justin was saying, there's still more work to be done to formalize our evaluation process around that.
Thank you.
Correct.
And I noticed in the wage schedule that I couldn't find a senior collections system crew member. Has that? And from the presentation, that was supposed to still be in your wage schedule. Did I miss it, or is that true?
It is just further down on the list, just because it's the wage schedule is in alphabetical order, and so then there's senior in the first word, so it should be there. I did just double check. The wage schedule is on the attachment that we included as part of this report.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Weiner. Good questions there. My question, I'm trying to read my writing here. I apologize. So we can potentially have more senior individuals, right? So this is what the goal is to be able to allow people to climb the ladder, and we might have more seniors and non-seniors at one point, right? That's the goal there, which I like that goal. What is the difference between a crew leader role and the senior role? How I see it in my mind as a crew leader, and I might be wrong, they might be given maybe more tasks. Maybe, I don't know, they lead a team. I don't know if that's a supervisor. When I hear crew leader, I hear them leading a team or leading something. And if we have more senior individuals, who's going to take that role there of leading that particular team? Or is that a different structure that I may be thinking about?
And maybe Michael might be best to answer this question on how the structure will work.
Yep. So our current structure in CSO is we have the collection system manager. There's a single position there, which oversees the collection systems field supervisors, who then oversee all of our crew members, some of which are crew leader ones, crew leader twos, crew members, and crew member twos. The new structure will be very similar, except you will take all of the crew leader ones and twos and combine them into a senior classification. They'll still have all of the same duties. The same will be true for the crew member positions. You'll take the crew member 1 and 2s and combine them into one classification. They'll have all the same duties as the current crew member 1 and 2. The difference is that the main difference here is not that the job is changing, it's that people don't have to wait in order to promote into the senior level position, because as you noticed in the presentation, there's a $61,000 fiscal impact. That impact is because we have 5 people in the organization who currently qualify for the senior level, but we're not able to put them there, even though the district has the ability to benefit from their knowledge. So this is really about an equity fix for the organization. It's not about changing the role or the job description.
Thank you, Michael, for that. I have no other questions. It was a good presentation. Unless there's any other questions or comments, Director Weiner, do you want to make a recommendation to the board?
Yes, I definitely support this. I really like the equity part of it, and also the opportunity part of it. So I strongly support this change.
I agree with Director Weiner. Thank you all for helping our organization think that way and moving us towards that mentality and that future there of equity and being able to bring up other colleagues up the ladder here. So thank you for that. Justin, anything else you need from us for this particular item?
No, there's not. I think we have everything we need, and we will actually plan to have this on the October 20th board meeting. I do believe I've heard from other board members that since this has gone to the committee, that we would plan to have it on the consent calendar. So we are ready to move this forward. That's all we need at this point.
Perfect. And Director Wiener, I see a question there.
Yeah, I have one question for Justin. Did we sell our bonds?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's kind of off topic, but yes, we did. We sold our bonds and we have the money. So we are ready to move forward. Yes.
Great. And what was our ultimate interest rate?
It was a 2.608% is our total in interest cost.
So AA wasn't good enough? I mean, what up?
No, it's a pretty good interest rate. We're very excited with where we landed.
I mean, I could get a mortgage for one something, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Really?
it's the term. There's a lot of factors.
We might to use Harry's credit line there.
I just thought AA was good. It says it's good.
It's good. It's all about the term and the amount. There's a lot of factors in there that how the interest rate comes out. But it's
I mean,
we're very happy with where we got.
Yeah, I wish I had that. I wish I had our credit rating as a district, Caesar. So it would be a downgrade if they took my credit rating.
All right. Well, I want to see, before we continue on that topic is there anything else from this topic? Anything else? All right. And I think that was it for the agenda, right? That wasn't even 30.
We do have one more item. It's under matters from members of the board. We have agenda item 3, reports. Reports on issues or matters pertaining to the work of the committee.
Director Wiener, any reports for the committee?
No, I think I've said it far more than I should have.
I have no reports either. I want to thank the staff. Thank you, Director Wiener, for joining us today. And have a wonderful day. We'll look forward to seeing this on the agenda consent calendar.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.